Welcome to the channel, Farm with Nick. Thanks so much for joining me here on Alma, Missouri. So this is episode 2 here on my dairy farm on Alma. So I've been quite busy getting this farm kind of set up. I know you're kind of interested in seeing everything that I put out, and I'll give you a tour and then also see if I can kind of get to work here a little bit while you're here with me. So let's actually, we'll leave the pickup there. Let's actually jump over and we'll drive around in the International here. It's a nice day, so don't need a cab on. So the first thing you'll notice with that pickup, I was kind of just putting some bale net rolls, and I was actually storing them inside this little garage shed here. So I put one in there. I had a couple more back here, so I'll come back to that. But intending on using that for hay. Alright, and let's just kind of swing around to the front and then we'll come back to these other two barns. So if I go back up to the house, we should have another tractor up here and a car actually in our main farmhouse. So up here, and I think it's just called a lizard, yeah, the lizard mussel. So I purchased this, and I don't know, the other day I was playing, I was having fun just kind of zipping around town in this. So I'll save that for another episode, but I gave it a different color, blue with that white pinstripe, pretty cool. Sounds amazing, but I didn't want to do red as everything else is just red around here on the farm, so something a little bit different. But so I have that parked in the garage, the International that you saw, and then here I bought another one, the Case International. This is a mod, I believe, the 1455, and just sounds awesome. So another small tractor that I will be utilizing around, and let's kind of run it here then. So next I have a gravity wagon. Mainly I'm going to use this for the calves for feed. So I'll be putting that to use. Another wagon. This I'm probably going to use for collecting off of the fields. Maybe taking things to and from town from the silos, that kind of thing. And then we have a couple spreaders here, so the solid fertilizer spreader. Here's my spreader for lime. My trailer, which I already purchased, but I'm using that for bales. And then my plan is to just use the pickup for this playthrough series. And then I have my John Deere planter here, the 2117. And this is also a mod that you can pick up. Here's my seeder, the Great Plains one. This one is just the standard one from the base game. And then I have a new tractor to me. It's the 8400R, and this is a modded edition here. So it's really cool, and this is my only large tractor here on the farm. So planning on utilizing this quite a bit. But I've already had some fun kind of getting this out already, moving equipment around with it. So just have this parked right here for now. So a really nice tractor. Excited about that one. Alright. And here's all my fuel stations. Let me kind of just run over here, show you. And then I have my straw spreader right here. Manure spreader right here. And I like this barn a lot just because there is room to place things in here and still get through and drive through. So that's really, really handy. Alright, let's hop back up in the tractor. Alright, continue the tour. There's a duck. Alright, and let's hop into this first barn. So in here, I wanted to keep most of my equipment I'm going to be using for hay. And have my tedder here right off the bat, my baler for doing round bales, and we'll see if I do silage. I'm planning on doing silage a little bit differently, so stay tuned for that when I get to that part. But here is this for making hay, my rake, windrower right there. Now I put in 2 mower decks. Honestly, I couldn't decide. But I have the John Deere one. I've used this a little bit on my last playthrough at Riverbend. Not much, so I kind of want to come back to that. And then the large mower, the Vermeer. So I use that quite a bit. Got used to that. I really did enjoy that on my Riverbend series. And then a couple extra little implements here. I'll come back to these. I'll show you what I'm up to there. Alright, and then the last barn up here. Straight ahead. I know I could have just ran over here. Our last barn here. I have a 7810, and I really enjoyed using this on Riverbend, so I wanted to bring that back for this series. And then I have the mixer wagon for the cattle, for the heifer barn, and for the milking barn. I'm not going to use this for the calves, and I'll show you that. But this is a mod. Looks great, the Anderson. So check that out on the mod hub. Have just a chisel plow here, the one that comes with the base game. Then I have a slurry tank here. And then this is my only combine as of right now, but it's the S790. Now this is another mod that I picked up, and I really like this as I was kind of playing around and driving this around too. So I'm excited to play around with this one. I don't think I put the GPS on it. I don't know. I don't think I did. Could always add that, but yeah, what a cool combine. So I know my last playthrough series I was using the Massey Ferguson a lot, which I enjoyed, but I thought it was time to try something a little bit different. So I just have the one, have a corn header here ready to go, and my grain header, I'll show you where that is. I parked that in a different spot. So my next little toy here, you might going like, what in the world is he doing with this thing? So this is a mod that you can get, and it's, what is it, the FMZ, and I'm gonna use it for making chaff for our cattle and to make silage. So I know it seems small, you're only going to have a couple rows that you're going to be able to harvest, but I thought when it came out, I was like, oh, I have to try it. Now for large fields, would I use it? Probably not. I would just lease out a forage harvester, but this is my forage harvester that I want to try around. So my plan is just hook this up to a trailer and get out there, get some chaff, and then put it in my fermenting silo to make silage. So instead of wrapping bales on this playthrough, I did want to test out this. Now if it doesn't work and if it's a disaster, I'll probably just switch back to what I was doing in wrapping my silage bales, but I don't know, I thought it was cool. Something a little bit unique, and I like the aspect that it's a small row forage harvester. That's really what appealed to me. And I know, like a lot of the old equipment out there, you would actually have just a single row corn header or a corn picker, too, or a double row. So I thought it was really cool looking. So for the small fields, honestly, that is my plan. So stay tuned. We'll see if it works, but I'm always up for trying something a little bit different and not just repeating the same type of playthrough series. So that silo that's straight ahead, that's my fermenting silo. That's where I'm going to put all the chaff in there. So you actually unload it right here, straight ahead, and then you load it up through that chute off to the right. So that's my idea. All right, let's zip over here. So I have our calves in here. I did test out this barn a little bit off camera. So I did put some straw in here for our calves. And the way you get the straw in, you actually just have to lift the bales and then set them in here. So the trigger is like in here to get it to go. And then I did give them some food here just to kind of get going. And then I was thinking for the calves, you can see I have some bags here of calf feed. And this is from a mod. I just thought it looked cool. Now, there's no way I'd be able to lift all those bags, 50 pounds a bag. But I thought it looked cool. So really, for this playthrough, I could go to the store, buy some feed, and then put it up to the trough. I could do it that way. Or once I get some silage made, I could drive up with that gravity wagon and pour it in there, and then mix it with some hay, and then call it good, and then put it in there to make some TMR. So that's another thought I had. But then I have some bales right here of straw ready to go when I need that for some more bedding. So there it is. Yeah, I don't want to drive the Anderson mixer through here. I did try it. It does work, but it is very, very cozy. But I didn't intend on that, So if I just have to buy the bag feed, I'm okay with that. Just to kind of, do a different style of playthrough. All right, let's pop over here. So this is another John Deere tractor. And this is the one that comes with the base game, the 3650. I am a huge fan of this one. I played with it a lot, so I thought, well, why not bring it back? I want to use as much of the small equipment as possible, even though Alma has a good mix of both, but has some very large fields. So I don't want to use too many of the small equipment. Might take me a while. So I have some wagons here for collecting crops, and then I have another red wagon here that I was kind of using and testing out some things with. And if you remember in the large barn, straight up behind me, there's the other red wagon. Alright, and then let's see what loop up here. So here's where I parked my header for my combine, and I could have placed it into the large barn. Yes, there's plenty of room. I just put it out here when I was setting up stuff, and honestly I just left it out here and didn't put it back yet. So there is my kind of basic setup, and I know there's a lot of you, and even more probably by the time this video comes out and more, that are asking for a save game if you're on PC, and absolutely you can have a copy of this. And my copy probably will not include all of this equipment. However, just want to show you what my setup was, and as I kind of get going here, I know a lot of my playthrough series, the equipment will change, and based on my needs, or if I go, I never really use that, I'm just going to sell it. I won't let it just kind of sit around the farm either. I like to kind of utilize what I have, and then not keep the other stuff around either, or switch it out, that kind of stuff. So there it is, my setup here on Alma. So let's get going a little bit. First, let's hop over here. Let's get these out of the pickup and give you guys some bonus content. So let's unfold this, hop out, And let's get these out of here. So I remember on my other playthrough series, I did have to get these filled up a couple times. Not too many times with the bale nutting, but a couple times. So I made sure not to make the exact same mistake. If you watched my other series, with some of the wrap for silage and bale nutting, man, I bought like a lifetime supply almost, just didn't know. Alright, we'll set that one a little further back. There we go. Alright, so all set there. Okay, and now I know a lot of my fields are kind of ready to go. My thinking is for this series, and let me kind of put the pickup back up here now. My thinking is for this series to play with 2-day months on. Just park the pickup. And then you can see right now I have it on 2 times speed. So down here, I did turn off seasonal growth for now. I turned off crop destruction. I might just turn that back on. And then where am I at? 2 times speed. So I did a couple maps, and I really like kind of playing on 5. That way, when you are playing, you can kind of get to nightfall a little bit. And I really did enjoy that, just because otherwise sometimes you're just stuck during the day. And then it kind of forces you to kind of pick and choose what you're going to get done. But I guess let's split the difference for now. We'll go 3. And then I have it on 2 days per month, even though it says, sets the number of days per month. Changes will take effect the next season. So yeah, that should take effect in the fall. Okay. And then let's go to what I have. All right. So to purchase this farm, I had to get 33. I purchased 42. 41. Ooh, I did get 31, and then 32. So let's see. What's here? Peas. Oof. And that's a big field. And I don't know if I want to do a pea harvest. Oh, yeah, because I'll lease that equipment out. I might end up just switching that field or tilling it up. All right, and what is over here? Soybeans. Oh, that's fine. We'll do soybeans. Okay, that's still growing. And then I know a lot of you asked, to get this farm, how did I still keep this farm intact? Because if you notice, there's still stuff here, still icons, I can come and visit the horse stable. Like everything is here, and I didn't sell this off. And my thinking is, as I keep playing on this Alma series, because I feel like I am going to play on it for a while. There's going to be many, many episodes. My Riverbend series is going into the 30s now, if you have checked that out. So I didn't want to just delete everything. Now, am I going to use everything? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. This main farm, there are things I like about it. There are things I do want to switch on it. So I simply deleted this main farmhouse here, and then when I start, it always triggers me back over there. So I left it intact. I might, midway through do another sort of farm build, so to speak, and redo this farm. For now, I left it, and because I left it, it keeps this field here. So yeah, it looks like we have corn here, which is fine. But that's why on the map, you'll notice we own field 1. I did sell 8 and was it 39? So I got rid of those. But I know some of you that I've been talking with really like the build over here. And so my recommendation, like, yeah, just go for it. Add a secondary farm. And so my main farm is going to be this one. My secondary farm will be this one. And if I keep playing on it and to get, equipment to this north side of the map, instead of like having to bring it over every time, my idea absolutely would be to utilize this pig farm and store things over here. And then if it's this side of the map when I'm playing, I would just bring it from the dairy farm. So that's kind of my thinking in a nutshell. I know that's a lot, but just to kind of give you an idea there of what I'm thinking. All right, so let's actually hop into the international. And let's get going on some grass work a little bit while you're here. A little bit of bonus content, but why not? Let's get going on the first cutting. So let's see. You can see that trigger is the opposite way. I want to get out the John Deere mowing deck here. It'll give it to me. I don't know if it will. There it goes. Perfect. So I'll give you a little bit of extra content here, but why not? Let's get going on our first cutting here in August. And then probably let you guys go and keep working. So all of these fields, I really liked in 22 how like this whole little cluster of fields, it was like my main operation for hay and silage. So that is my plan. So once I harvest the soybeans, I'm definitely switching that. We'll see with 31. I might just switch that off camera, but if I do it on camera, I'll just till it up with you guys. But then, 32 and 41 definitely be hay fields as well. So, all right, let's get this set up. Let's do steering assist. Yes. I know it says no field detected, but it did that the one time. There it goes. Yeah. It like almost doesn't detect the first one. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Let's loop. Yeah. If I swing over to there, yeah, it doesn't like really want to give me that first one unless I cut it this way, which I can. And I'll just, yeah, I guess let's just do that. It seems weird to cut it the opposite way, but it is what it is for that first pass. See, we're gonna miss a little bit there. But yeah, I guess I would prefer to go the opposite way. Oops. And where are they going? Yeah, they're going like off of the field grass, I see. Alright, we'll just flip them around here. There we go. Alright, we'll just do that. But yeah, it's awesome to be back here in Alma. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Look at that scenery, by the way. Sorry, as we kind of get going here. But a couple things. If you're still watching the video, I just wanted to thank you for joining the channel. There's been a huge growth here on the channel so far, even with this build. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoy this playthrough series, and if if you are kind of just checking it out for the first time, I'd love to have you tag along, join the Farm with Nick community, and if you would like a build, like I said earlier, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I can send you a save game on PC, absolutely. I am 100% okay with that. And then, like I said, as I continue on through this playthrough, and if the farm kind of changes here and there, you'll probably get the save game after episode 1. So you won't get all my equipment, but now you kind of see what I am using, you know, and you know, feel free to make it your own. I feel like the barns, you know, there's a lot of space on this farm, even though it's like a condensed farm. I feel like there's quite a bit of space to kind of get a lot of equipment, more than what I thought almost in there. So that's pretty cool. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing specialty crops and other things, you might be like, well, there's not enough room in some of these barns, but yeah, up to you. Alright, so we got that pass. Now I'd like to kind of drive, I'd like to drive the opposite way actually. So let's set up. Can I get the trigger? Or is he gonna, because I went that way, yeah. I see, because I went that way, it's gonna, I have to go that way. Okay. Got it. Alright, we'll just continue doing another loop this way. So, yeah, if you're one of the original people to the channel, and if you saw any of my FS22, my FS22 Alma, Missouri series, you'll know that this farm obviously is set up differently, based off of mods, obviously, but I really like how this one is set up, and especially with the barn setup as well. I'm really enjoying this. So it was super fun. It was super fun to make, and it took me quite a bit. I know there are some of the people asked in the comments, well, how many hours did you really put in on that farm? And honestly, on and off, it was probably close to like 3.5 to 4 hours. And I know it doesn't seem like that, but you know, when you're building, I make mistakes. I make mistakes when leveling. I make mistakes when kind of placing the fences or building those roads. Took me a while. So yeah, it does take that amount of time, and I appreciate you even just kind of watching the tour, which I know it's not the same as if I was doing a build with you. However, I really do appreciate that, because then it kind of lets me sit down and really kind of fine-tune the build in a way where I am like very, very happy with it, and then when I show you, you can really kind of see the attention to hopefully all the details and the little things that I put in to kind of make it seem as real as possible. So I know that doesn't always happen, but that's my goal, 100%. And as I'm just chit-chatting, I am missing spots here. Alright, back on. Yeah, I like this setup here. So I really didn't use this John Deere mowing deck a lot in my last series, so, but this International was also not available, and this honestly is one of my favorites. What a cool tractor. I just love it. So I'll use it a lot. Absolutely. Alright, so after this, I think I'm gonna be good here. Start making some passes up and down, and then I'll probably just let you guys go. So there we go. Looking cool and looking good. Yeah, I'm so excited to be back here, and I think the textures here on Alma are just great in my opinion. Like the ground textures are awesome. The textures as in using, let's see here. I'll just come back and get some of these. The textures, you know, with the scenery, skylines, landscape, I think are really nice here on Alma. So it's so nice to be back here. I guess I could have done a whole nother pass. Oops, I keep doing that. And turning off my mower deck, don't I? Now I'm going to turn it off. Alright, let's loop back up. Alright, we'll just freehand this one. Alright, so I'll let you guys go there. I'm going to continue mowing this. And then honestly, we have all these fields to start working on. I have some cattle chores I did not do with you guys, so I figured do that for a separate video as well. But I kind of want to just hit the ground running here, show you what I've been up to, all the purchasing of equipment as well. So that's really the main focus on this video, to show you the equipment setup and getting going here. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're just finding the channel, I'd love to have you tag along and let me know what you think as I'm getting going with this playthrough series on Alma, Missouri. So thank you so much again, and hope you guys have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.